Hi, and welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live, coming at you fourth quarter. Texas laying it on the Razorbacks, 45-23. Arch Manning, career day, responsible for 6 total touchdowns, 4 through the air, 1 on the ground, and 1 receiving touchdown. What is happening? Arch Manning, best game of his college career by far. We're going to finish this one out with you. We got 11:45 left in the fourth quarter. Horns up 22. Fourth down for Arkansas. We got a fumble. Oh, are we gonna get 6 right here? Yes, we are. And the Horns go up 52-23. Strip sack, scoop, and score. Let's go. That ought to put a nail in it. Longhorns lead 51-23, about to be 52, 11:30 left. That's got to feel good. I'm sure they'll replay this, make sure everything was straight. Anthony Hill Jr. down there celebrating with the boys. That's awesome. That's awesome. Horns putting a little exclamation point on this one. Tristan, what's good? Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you, brother. Poor Arkansas fans that made the trip. Poor Arkansas fans. ESPN doing them no favors. Simmons, man. What a play. What a play. We're going to get you some stats here in a second. Appreciate all y'all hanging out. First defensive touchdown this year. Jeez. That doesn't feel right. I know Texas has forced some turnovers this year. First defensive touchdown this year. All right. All right, then. Goodness. Texas has been getting after it all night long, and finally Simmons gets to the quarterback, and the rest is history. Good stuff. We're going to finish out the game with you, give you some more live reaction. And we'll also be here post-game, obviously, taking comments, taking questions. Coaching staff having a lot of fun. Hard not to on a day you score 50+. Defense has felt a little bend, not break today. Am I right? It's not looked quite the same without our boy Anthony Hill Jr. in there. I mean, obviously, I think he might have a shot to play against A&M next week, but it felt like the right thing to do to hold him out of this one. It really did. I think that you give him another week, you give him another few days, 6 days, whatever it is, to get set. At least give him a chance. But the Longhorns defense, second half especially, really has picked things up. It's been huge. It's been the difference maker in this game. It was 24-20 at the half. Texas only gives up 3 points thus far in the second half. Very impressive with the halftime adjustments. PK doing a good job getting the boys back on track after a rough first half. First half was brutal. It was absolutely brutal defensively. I mean, we didn't have a punt till late in the second quarter, it felt like. Mid to late second quarter. Good hanging out with all y'all. Thanks for tuning in. We are, like I said, going to continue to break down things on our end. Drop a comment, drop a question. Appreciate all you guys hanging. Whew. Welcome everybody. Oh, good. We got some A&M and Oklahoma fans hanging out with us for a little bit. Wouldn't be a show without y'all. Oh my goodness. All right. Hey, let's give you some numbers here. We already said 6 total touchdowns. At least Arch Manning being responsible for 4 through the air. A fifth, honestly, if you count the receiving touchdown that he had on that Philly special play. 379 yards passing, 5 yards rushing, does have a rushing touchdown as well. You have Trey Wisner, 11 carries, 41 yards. And then Parker Livingston, 104 yards, 1 touchdown. Wingo, nearly at the century mark himself, 81 yards through the air on 6 receptions. Ball's been spread around well today. You've got, it looks like about 7 different guys with catches. There's definitely been games where there's got more guys in the action than 7, but it was a great day for the offense overall. I mean, this Arkansas defense, one of the worst defenses in the SEC. I think we can be real about that. I think they are the worst from what I was hearing. Little surprised the Horns didn't go with the ground game a little bit more here. Clearly, you got to play towards what the defense gives you and what the defense weaknesses are. And the passing game, clearly a weakness for the Arkansas Razorbacks. But still, only 20 rushes for 70 yards. Would have thought, especially after the Georgia game, where Sark really came out and talked about needing to establish the ground game more. It did surprise me a little bit that the ground game was not more of a feature today. And look, it's hard to complain when you score 52, 45 offensively, that is. But I was a little bit surprised. I thought they would really come out and make more of a commitment to the ground game. We'll see what happens in the A&M game. I think that is going to be really the big tell. You imagine that Sark has probably been saving some stuff for the Lone Star Showdown. In a game like this, right before you're playing your biggest rival, yeah, I'm sure Sark has some things in his bag that he's withholding. That game on Friday, by the way, we will probably be live after the game. Not sure if we're going to be able to go in-game or not. We'll see what happens there. But we'll definitely be live post-game at the very latest. Family, we're doing a little traveling. It'll be great, but we'll be on the road around that time. Getting back, I think, on that day. I don't know what our schedule is, what our plans are, but we'll be watching, and we'll be live at some point during that day, whether it's during the game, fourth quarter, or post-game. Hope you can come and join. Congrats, we beat Arkansas. Look, you got to play the teams in front of you. That's what everybody's been telling me. You can only play the teams in front of you, right? Can't control it. Can't control how bad they are. I don't know. I don't think anybody is getting hyped over beating Arkansas, but clearly you had to come out today and take care of business. And you had to. We talked about this a little bit last week as well. You had to come out today and show off a little bit. I know that style points are not quite as meaningful as they once were with the BCS and the math and the formulas and all that, but nevertheless, when you have 3 losses and you are trying to cling on to any playoff hopes you can, you got to go for some style points here. And that's what Sark is doing. You got Arch and company still throwing the ball up 3-4 scores. It's definitely, I think, a bit of a ploy to really get Texas back in the committee's minds. And we'll see how this game finishes out. Texas defense allowing some yardage here, some garbage time yardage. 10 minutes left on the clock in the fourth quarter. Yeah, the defense, absolutely. Albert, you're right on that. Finally showed up in the second half. Only 3 points allowed. Back to the point, Texas, I think really the game that they're going to have to show off in is the A&M game, which is going to be hard to do. It is going to be tough in those rivalry games. I mean, has Texas blown out A&M in the past? Absolutely. Could happen. But I think that's the game where you really have to impress. I think an emphatic win against A&M does you a lot of favors. A close win, I think, is still meaningful. Don't get me wrong. A win, I think, would be huge in general. But if you can win by double digits, if you can run up the score a little bit, I am not necessarily saying take that to the bank, by the way. Just saying what I think Texas is most likely going to need to do if they really want a legitimate shot to still make it to the playoff. I think it's a long shot at this point. I am keeping my expectations extremely low. I really feel like you needed a close loss to Georgia last week to really have a shot, and the Horns didn't do that. It was close, 14-10 in the fourth quarter, and then things fell apart. We don't have to get back into that. We broke it down plenty last week on the show. Arkansas going across the middle here, man. The middle has been wide open, it feels like, all night for Arkansas. They went away from it a little bit in the third and fourth quarter. They're going back to it now. Texas playing a little bit soft, also getting some other guys in there. Totally understandable. So you might see an Arky touchdown here. Wouldn't shock me at all. Yeah, starters, some of them are on the sidelines at this point. All right, we keep going. Notre Dame blew out Arkansas and just won 70-7. I mean, yeah, kind of similar thing going on right now. 30-point game at this point, 29-point game. Another drop here, and it's going to be 2nd and 10. Yeah, Notre Dame obviously has a really good shot. They went out. I think you can safely assume they'll be in the mix. They lose again, which I don't know who's on their schedule left, but they lose again. Maybe you're saying something different. 3-loss Notre Dame. I think that's going to be a tough one. Texas, I think the only reason they can really cling on to it is they've got some signature wins, right? You beat Vandy, you beat OU, and if you beat A&M, you've got 3 pretty huge wins right there. Yes, there's been some tough losses. Yes, there's been an embarrassing loss in the mix, a couple of them. But Texas definitely does have some pretty key wins on the resume. I think that's what's going for them more than anything else. If we beat A&M, you think we're a lock at number 12, McJ? It's good to see you, by the way, brother. Missed you yesterday, dude. I thought you were going to come and hang out for Rangers. That's all right. I know it's a Friday night. It's tough. I do think it's probably, if I had to call it, I'm going to say 35-65 or 40-60, and the odds aren't in our favor. I'm not saying it's a 0. I'm not saying it's, 5%, 10%. I think it's actually a little closer to 50-50 than people think, but I do think you need an emphatic win over A&M. I really do. I think you need an emphatic win over the Aggies if you want to get into the playoff, into that number 12 spot, like McJ just said. That would be my take. Texas overrated. Hopefully ND sees them in the first round. That'd be a fun game. Texas and Notre Dame would be real fun. That would be classic, baby. 904, hook 'em, brother. Love it. Top 5 cupcake schedule. Who are we talking about? Surely not Texas with the cupcake schedule. Texas played plenty of good teams this year. Plenty of good teams this year. That is funny to me. I didn't really realize that was a thing where people actually are coming at Texas for the schedule. So weird. I mean, totally clueless / brainless. I don't get that at all. All right, what do we got? Come on. Come on. Man, that is lazy. What are we doing, defense? Come on. Now, look, I get that there are some starters out, but come on now. Have some pride right now, boys. Let's go. It's an ugly touchdown. Look, it makes it 52-30. The game's out of reach. You just want to see the boys finish strong. Come on. Dude, that play's going nowhere, and you just can't make a tackle. Come on. Is that McDonald? Is that McDonald not making that tackle? Come on, baby. Jeez. Yeah, look, this schedule, obviously, I don't think anybody is going to argue has been a legitimate one. You've got OSU first week of the season. You played Oklahoma, another top 10 team. You played Vanderbilt, top 10 at the time. You played Georgia. You played A&M, who's going to be a top 5 team, top 3 team. I really don't get the people that are saying it's a cupcake schedule, soft schedule. I mean, look, respectfully, because I love debate on the show, but argue with the wall. If you think Texas had a weak schedule, please argue with the wall. I cannot help you. You're lost. I can't help you if you're sitting there right now. I mean, I get it. You're just a hater. You're a troll. I mean, insert whatever name we need to throw out there. You just don't know. I can't help you. Texas played a plenty tough schedule. And look, they haven't done well in some of the big games. It's clear. You lost by Ohio State. You lost by 7 to Ohio State. You lost by 25 on the road. I mean, look, the 2 losses that you have against the top 10 opponents, they do come on the road. The Florida one is just the ugly one. That's the one I think that hurts the most. That's the one that hurts the most, honestly. Dan, I'm 100% with you on that. That Florida loss is the one that's driving that knife through right now. That one, especially watching them get waxed by Kentucky, that was brutal. That was brutal. If Texas defense wasn't good, Texas would have a lot of L's on their record. The defense definitely carried them early. I'm almost feeling a little bit opposite over the last couple of weeks. I'm going to be honest. The offense feels like they finally kind of caught their stride, and the defense has been bend but don't break. I mean, look, they broke last week against Georgia. Don't get me wrong. but the defense feels like it's been a little bit more vulnerable of late, especially in the secondary. Speaking of defense, let me talk through something that I gotta get on my soapbox about. Got to. So Ty Anthony Smith, ejected, linebacker for Texas, targeting. And look, I know that the helmet-to-helmet thing, we're not arguing was it targeting. We're not arguing whether or not it was the right call by the book. I think it's pretty obvious, helmet-to-helmet contact. It is targeting. I will say this. It is the most infuriating rule penalty to me in college football. The most infuriating rule. There was nothing dirty about that play from Smith. It's a football play. It's a routine football play. And not only are you going to penalize the team and eject the player from the game, but you're also going to make him miss the first half of the Lone Star Showdown. It's ridiculous. I hate the rule. There's nothing dirty about Ty Anthony Smith and what happened on that play. He's coming up hard on an underneath route. There happens to be helmet-to-helmet contact. He's not lowering his helmet. It's not a dirty play. We've got to eliminate and reel this rule in. I hate it. I feel terrible for guys that are getting ejected in their final games of their college career. Look, the rule to me is supposed to be eliminating dirty play, and it's subjective, of course. How do you know? It's supposed to be, in my opinion, a headhunting penalty. It's not headhunting to come up hard as a linebacker on an underneath route and make a tackle. I think it is a bad rule. I wish they would change it. I can understand the penalty, ejecting the player, not only for this game, but making him sit out an additional half the next game. I hate it. I hate it for these guys that, like I said, are playing in their final college football games. You never know. You hear it, though, every year. I guarantee somebody is going to get ejected for targeting next week, a senior, totally incidental, helmet-to-helmet, not purposeful at all. You know, the receiver's going to lower the head slightly, and so the helmets happen to touch. And by rule, it's targeting. Stupidest rule in college football. Obviously, it didn't affect the game today. And this has been an issue that I have been hounding since they first came up with it. It's painful to me that we've got to have guys sitting out multiple halves for incidental helmet-to-helmet contact. Brutal. One of the worst rules in all of sports, but absolutely the worst rule in college football. Aggie grad, I really want you to focus on the comprehension side of things here, my guy. Nobody is arguing that by the book it was targeting. Can we be clear on this? Nobody's arguing by the book it's targeting. What we're arguing is it is stupid that it is targeting to begin with. Even stupider that you have to have a guy sit out not only one game, this game, but the entire first half of the next game. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm sure it's all fun and games until it happens to you. That's how it usually goes. So, I mean, look, I'll say it right now. I hope y'all get a taste of it next week. Hope y'all get a taste of it. Stupidest rule. Hate it. Yeah, RB3, it's my bad. I appreciate the comment, brother. I need those reminders. I mean, comprehension is just not some people's forte. I totally get it. Absolutely get it. Yeah, nobody's arguing that by the book it's targeting. It was helmet-to-helmet contact, and they're going to call it every time. So that's the one thing that drives me nuts. Nobody is saying that the rule was not correctly applied. We're just saying it's a stupid rule, and it is. And I have no clue. If you're a real fan of football, like you love this game, I don't get how you think this rule is a positive. It's not football. It's not. And this is not headhunting. Ty Anthony Smith, it's not lowering the helmet. It's incidental helmet-to-helmet contact coming up, making a great play, sniffing out an underneath route beautifully. Feel bad for the guy. And it absolutely sucks that he's got to miss next week, first half as well, against the Aggies. Brutal. Why is Arch in the game? I would think at this point they're just trying to get the stats up. I don't think he's going to win the Heisman or anything, but I think at this point it's probably a combination of he wants to be out there. And you know what? If they can get the stats up a little bit, why not? All right, 3rd and 6 here, 5 minutes left. Little screenplay here, and Texas is going to get that first down. Good stuff, man. Mosley on the screenplay. He picks up about 7 or 8, and the Longhorns are going to continue to run this clock out. Texas has the 5th hardest schedule, and the Aggies are 12. There you go. Speaking some truth into the conversation, McJ. Appreciate you, brother. If we can't beat the Aggies next week, well, yeah, of course. You lose at all over the next couple of weeks. We knew it's done. You had to win out, and I do think you have to win emphatically against A&M, double digits. I mean, think like how we won against Bama a couple of years ago. You know, a double-digit sound victory. Ooh, that was brutal. O-line, look, they've gotten better and better, but O-line is still a little suspect to me, man. I mean, they are just cutting through at different times, this D-line. Not a big fan of it. Oh, goodness. Appreciate all y'all. Thank you for all the comments. If I missed something, y'all please drop it again. We'll be more than happy to get to it. Score prediction for next week. I think score prediction for me, if I'm just going totally off the cuff, haven't done a lot of diving into the matchup, but I think it is going to definitely be a game where some points are scored. I know last game was definitely, or last year I should say, a little bit more of a low-scoring affair. But I'm going to go with Horns 34, Aggies 24. I'm going to go 34-24. I think that the Horns get 30+. I think the defense holds. Look, I mean, if South Carolina can hold A&M to 31, whatever it was, I think the Horns can. I think the Horns can. We'll see what happens. Y'all tell me what you think. Y'all tell me the score prediction. Corey, what you got? What you got? Basically, I have to go 7-1 or 8-0 to even make the wild card. Cowboys, they just got to go 1 week at a time, man. They got a little bit more room for error than the Longhorns do right now, that's for sure. We keep on rolling. Finishing out this one, 3:04 left in the game, 52-30, Texas up. Little pitch out wide here. 2nd and 24. Now it's going to be 3rd and 22. Clark taking that one to the outside. Next week, Ole Miss, Mississippi State on Friday, and A&M, Texas on Friday. That is going to be a fun Friday post-Thanksgiving, man. And then Bama, Auburn, Iron Bowl next Saturday. Best time of the year for football right now. Best time of the year. Did I see Cooper Flagg last night? Yes, I did. Flagg was incredible. It's amazing what happens when you get a generational talent the most shots on the team on a given night. It's crazy how it works out, McJ. It's like good things happen when you give the ball to your best player. Like, I don't know why it took whatever game it was, game 18, 19, 20, for Cooper Flagg to have the most shot volume, but all right. More of that, please. Please. Love the Quinnen Williams move. Love it. We keep on rolling. Taft needs to be benched, always out of position. He hasn't had a good, I don't know. I think he came on a little stronger in the second half, but feels like he's had a rough past couple of games. Look, the injury, I think, can definitely get you out of sync. Obviously, Taft missed a couple of games. I think when you miss games for injury, absolutely can affect your timing, your rhythm. So maybe it's just more shaking off the rust, but it's been a little bit of a rough return for Taft. Absolutely. Y'all just beat a 2-win team. Look, I think we beat them a little bit better than some other teams. I won't say too much more. I feel like I remember Arkansas versus A&M being pretty dang close, if I'm not mistaken. Don't remember a near 30-point blowout when I was watching A&M Arkansas. Don't know if OU played Arkansas this season. Don't think they did. Maybe they did and I just missed it. A&M just beat a 1-win team. Yeah, Samford. I'm glad Texas doesn't do the out of conference terrible opponent right before rivalry week. It's just bad for the sport. I hate that there are so many teams that do that, and it's not just because it's A&M. It's really not. I always thought like when Bama would schedule Georgia Southern the second to last week of the year before the Iron Bowl, it's just a brutal watch, man. Who wants to watch that when we're supposed to be heating things up towards playoffs, towards the end of the season? Nobody wants to watch that, man. Nobody. It's too bad. Hey, the Sooners, man, that was kind of an ugly watch today. If you're a Sooners fan, obviously you got the win, so you're not going to be too upset. But what an ugly watch today. Mizzou versus Oklahoma. I can't even believe Mizzou still had a shot in that game. Mizzou looked terrible. I don't believe in OU. Obviously, I don't think I need to say that out loud just based on what I'm wearing right now. I don't believe in OU at all. I think that they've definitely got some good wins under their belt. I don't believe in them. We'll see what happens when they get into the playoff. I'm sure they'll be there, see where their seeding is at. But I would be shocked if OU makes any kind of deep run in the playoff. Shocked. We'll see. It was pretty bad today. If you actually watch that Mizzou OU game, Mateer didn't look good. OU offense was very stagnant at times. And I know that they're just going to pass it off as, well, it's a defensive game, man. It's smash mouth football, blah, 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 blah. Come on, man. That was ugly. Ugly. I can't wait for Friday either. Can't wait for Friday either. Look, if Texas doesn't make the playoff, I'll take beating both rivals in the same season. If they don't make the playoff, I will take beating OU at the Cotton Bowl and beating the Aggies at DKR and ruining their perfect season. If we don't make the playoff, that will be a great solace for me. And you know what? Hopefully we get a good bowl game and Arch comes back next year better than ever. That's the plan. Punt, fair catch, about the 7-yard line. 2 minutes left in this one, 52-30. Horns up. All smiles from Arch Manning, responsible for 6 total touchdowns on the day. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely, man. We keep on rolling. Sad season for the rivals, Dane. Absolutely sad for the rivals. OU losing to us and the Aggies losing to us in the same season. Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. And I do think legitimate chance if you can beat A&M and if you can beat them soundly, even better. But if you can beat A&M, I think that it is going to be a tough decision to leave them out, knowing that the Longhorns are very capable of beating some of the teams in the playoff, some of the top competition in college football. Can't wait to see you live after Friday. You know what? It's what a lot of people say to me, from both sides, honestly. A lot of Aggies fans last year told me they couldn't wait till post-game, and we know how that went. We know how that went. Look, I'm sorry. This rivalry, it is a rivalry, but it's not even close. Texas has dominated this rivalry. Can A&M, can Little Brother get one occasionally? Absolutely. They can get one occasionally. But this rivalry has been a domination. It really isn't much of a rivalry if you just look at the wins and losses. It's not even close. But it is amusing to me that A&M fans believe that it's been so highly contested over the years. It's a blowout right now. It's a blowout. I mean, we got to be real. Blowout. Not even close. But yeah, every year, I'm sure y'all are going to keep saying the same thing. That's what I figured out. Doesn't matter how bad A&M is or how many times in a row Texas has won. I'm always going to get Aggie fans in the comments thinking there's going to be a domination, and then the exact opposite happens more often than not. More often than not. Next week, it'll be a different A&M. We'll see. We'll see. And it's hilarious to me that the A&M fans try and reference the wine and cheese crowd at the Longhorns games like that's going to matter. What does it matter if there's rich people watching the game? You think that's an edge? It's hilarious. I know it's just Kyle Field snobbery, best atmosphere in football, whatever they think, that's great. It doesn't mean that it's going to help you. Y'all played with Kyle Field behind you last year, and you lost. What do we care if there's some people eating wine and cheese in the crowd while we beat your butts again? I don't even get that as any kind of edge or reason why the Aggies are going to win. Y'all had your home crowd behind you last year, and you still lost. Come on now. Come on, baby. Bumblebee, hook 'em. Hook 'em, hook 'em. Yeah, look, I don't feel great about A&M's chances. I'm not saying it's going to be a bad game, but I really don't know if you're an Aggies fan why you would have a ton of confidence going into the game. It's not a team you've been able to beat consistently. You didn't beat them last year with the SEC championship on the line. A&M could have gone to the SEC championship last year had they beat Texas. You had a lot to play for, and you laid an egg at Kyle Field is what it is. Look, I've got some Aggies fans actually who are best friends of mine, and obviously we talk some trash to each other, but the mantra definitely at times this year has been, how are they going to blow it and win? And you're just waiting for the other shoe. You really are. I feel like that is the real. We'll see what happens. That's why they got to play the game. That's why they got to play the game. If we miss the playoffs, they should cancel the OSU game next year and schedule Stephen F. Austin. I've seen a lot of that, McJ. I really do hope that they can get everybody on the same page one day. You'd really like to see there be less variance with who you're allowed to schedule and who you're not. Like the fact that some teams can just schedule cupcakes, you win out, and your record looks great. That doesn't sit right with me. I'd like for there to be a little bit more uniformity with the scheduling, but I don't know if it's ever going to happen. There's a lot of moving parts. A lot of moving parts. Keep on rolling. Struggled against UTEP. Look, I don't know whether you support the Aggies or the Sooners. It's got to be one of the two. But do we need to list off all the teams that the Sooners and the Aggies have struggled against this year? Like, really? Do we need to do that? Y'all got UTEP? Talking about UTEP? All right, then. I think we could go quite deep on the list for both of those teams and how OU has struggled against inferior competition. A&M, same thing. We keep rolling. Hot takes, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. 11-0 speaks louder. That's a nice thought. Let's see if it happens on Friday night, baby. Competition, the only competition in Texas has with itself is ego. I think I got the message there. Look, in terms of ego, I don't know why we would use that as any kind of argument. You don't think A&M has any ego? I mean, look, we got Aggies fans feeling confident that there's going to be a blowout on Friday in Austin. You don't think Aggies have any ego? You don't think the Sooners have any ego? It's just kind of a weird angle to me. Very weird angle to me. Ego has got you to a loss in the SEC where you don't belong. Dane, that's asinine. We've literally played 2 years in the SEC and been to the SEC championship more than A&M has. I mean, dude, come on now. You don't belong in the SEC? Let's go. Let's go. What do we got, man? Why do we even have filtered comments? Nah. We got to approve all these, man. Sorry about this, y'all. What are we doing? I don't even know why that setting is on. There you go. Now we got all the comments flowing. Stanford ain't beating my Irish. Well, I don't think that's going to happen either. I would be very shocked by that. Who does Notre Dame even have left? I mean, look, I don't have these schedules memorized. It's hard enough keeping up with the rivals and the Longhorns. Who does Notre Dame have left? SEC eviscerates itself every year. They're all good teams with big egos. Look, if you played the game, yeah, you got to be humble, but you got to play with a little edge. I think anybody that's played will tell you that. What are you supposed to be? Unconfident that you're not going to win? And that's the alternative. You just got to say these things out loud sometimes. What are you supposed to think you're going to lose every game? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. That's why the ego thing's stupid. You got to have a little ego in the game of football. I don't know. Again, you're supposed to go in thinking you're going to lose. That's the opposite, right? Another pass over the middle. I'm telling you, this middle has just been wide open all day for Arkansas. Time's ticking down, though. We got about 58 seconds or so left. Texas just about to wrap this one up, put it to bed. Appreciate all y'all hanging out. Thanks for all the comments. Krabby Patty, 100%. 100%, whole different level. TCU had 17 points and won the game against UH, had 13 points in game over. 17-13. It's a pretty good game. It's a pretty good game. Joe Dave, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate all you guys. Come on, keep them out of the end zone here. Let's go. A little fade ball. That's going to be PI. It's about the most obvious PI call. Oh, come on, man. Don't you love that when the dude just blatantly pushes him in the back and then he's like, what? What? Me? What? Me? PI? Come on now. Bro, you literally pushed him right in the back. Like, there's no question there, buddy. Yeah, defense, look, I got to say, defense today has been a bend but don't break. They're missing Anthony Hill. They're missing that teeth. They really are. They're missing that teeth. TLC, good to see you, man. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. They're missing Anthony Hill. They are. Hey, Caden, hook 'em, man. Hook 'em, brother. All right. It's going to be a little closer here. 52-37, unless we're going for two here. Jaden Platt, 8-yard touchdown reception, 16 seconds left in the ball game. Really too bad for the second unit, man. I know that they're trying to play to get this game to zeros, but come on now. A little disappointing from the second unit. I know you got a lot of guys in there that don't get a ton of playing time, and this is the opportunity, and you've let Arkansas march down a couple of different times. Woof. Woof, woof, woof. Yeah. Enjoy it, Cowboys fan. Enjoy it, brother. TLC, it's all good, man. Look, it was a Friday night, kind of a bit of an emergency live stream. Look, we all knew what the non-tender deadline was and who was going to be gone. We all knew Doley and Heim were gone, but until you get that notification, Rangers are non-tendering and Adolis Garcia doesn't quite feel real. It's all good, man. You'll be back, I'm sure, on Wednesday, and we'll be live any other time there's a big signing, big trade, anything like that. Droopy, hook 'em. Hook 'em, hook 'em. Jonah, too. Yeah, Jonah Heim, man. I mean, we're talking about 2023 World Series legends, right? World Series legends. It's sad, man. I mean, look, it needs to happen. They needed to move on from those guys, but it's sad. Caden, we'll see you next week, man. Perfect stranger, hook 'em. Great game. Now you got to build off of it. It's good to see a couple of home games in a row. Feels like every other game is a road game for us this year. It's good to see that we got a couple of home games in a row. You have this game with Arkansas. You have the game next week against A&M. Good stuff, man. Yeah, I picked up on that, Cowboys fan. The offense actually looks pretty good. Like, they've got a quarterback. I wonder if Green is going to stick around. I'm really curious about that. But if you can get Green to stick around, even KJ Jackson looked pretty good. Seriously. They've got some pieces, and Mike Washington is a dog. I was impressed with some of the guys on offense. Who else? Rohan Jones, Jaden Platt. I mean, both those guys had great games. I think Arkansas, if they can shore up on defense, they can cause quite a bit of havoc in the SEC next year. They've got to prioritize the defense, though. Score is 52-37 right now. Horns are about to kneel it out. 16 seconds on the clock. Horns are going to move to 8-3. Arkansas moves to 2-9. Still winless in the SEC this year. Man, it's more fun when this game is a little bit more competitive. Look, I got a little bit of a soft spot for Arkansas. One of my best friends, big Arkansas fan. And look, I did not grow up during the time of the heated rivalry between the two schools. That's probably about a decade before my time. So, look, it is what it is. I actually was going back and forth with a few people in a good way, just a friendly discussion. Like, there's a generation of Longhorns fans that don't really understand the A&M rivalry because we didn't play them, right? I mean, there's a whole generation. It's kind of weird, honestly, of fans that really do not know that rivalry super well because we just didn't play them for 14, 15 years, whatever it was. The OU one has been there clearly for a long, long time, but it is kind of weird. Like, some people will consider OU the bigger rival. For me, I think it's just because of the friends that I have growing up that were big A&M fans. It has always been A&M for me as the biggest rival of the Longhorns. Even though, like we talked about earlier, the rivalry itself hasn't necessarily been that close. That's how I feel. You let me know what you think. You let me know who's the bigger rival for Texas, OU or A&M. I'm kind of curious on this one. Arch absolutely showed flashes today. Absolutely showed flashes today. Loved what we saw from him. Doing a little bit of everything. Running it, passing it, catching it. That was not like an easy catch from Arch Manning either. Like, that was not an easy catch. Dude had to go up and high point that one. It was impressive, honestly. Honestly. Hey, Daniel, what's good, man? Happy Saturday. Good to have you hanging out. Yeah, Jack, I was a little surprised about Jacob Webb. There's a lot of red on that Baseball Savant page, but they're trying to save some money, clearly. You know, we'll trust him. CY being the pitcher that he is, we'll trust him. But I was a little surprised by that, too. Lex, Bucks look pretty good right now. Look pretty good. Texas still probably the best opponent for the Buckeyes this year. Who's played the Buckeyes better than Texas this year? Yeah. It's not, I don't think, really anybody even in the same ballpark. Texas playing Ohio State to a one-score game in which Arch Manning had an opportunity to tie the game in the fourth quarter. Late. I don't think there's been anybody that's played them better. But the Buckeyes look good, no doubt. No doubt. Javier, yes, sir. Hook 'em horns. What else we got? A&M. Becky says A&M. Mad Max says OU because A&M is hardly ever good. I like that. I like that. Look, there is something to be said about that. The OU-Texas rivalry has been a lot closer than the A&M Texas rivalry. Francisco, you say OU as well. Will Texas make the CFP with a win over A&M? David, I hope so. I think so. I think especially if you can win by maybe a couple of scores, maybe if you can win by a 2-score margin, I think even more so. Texas clinches an SEC championship game appearance with a win. Oh, just like last year, right? How'd that go? Texas has a 52% chance to win according to ESPN Analytics. I don't put much stock in that. Texas is 1-7 versus top 5 teams under Sark. That's got to change, man. That's kind of the big thing, with Sark. I know he's gotten a lot of crap for the lack of wins against the top 5 opponents. Look, the grass is not always greener when it comes to college coaches. We've seen that. You went from Mac Brown to Charlie Strong, and I like Charlie Strong, the guy, but we all know how that went. Tom Herman, honestly, the Herman years were not bad, but Texas was lacking that one last push to get up into that top tier. Sark, clearly, the last 2 years, you made the playoff. That's huge. Can you do it again this year? I think you're going to need a little bit of help. You're going to need a big win on Friday against A&M. We'll see what happens. Who's in the SEC championship if Texas does win? I think it's Ole Miss, isn't it, Cosmic? Doesn't Ole Miss get in? It's still better than under Herman and Strong. David, I agree with you 100%. Sark's more worried about his outfit. Man, I did say to my wife, man, Sark's been in the gym. I mean, Sark is always looking fly with the outfit on the sideline. Hey, you definitely got a point there. Look, Sark, I think he is definitely going to have to do some soul searching in the offseason. There's some things about this team that I think have to be fixed. One of the things during the game that I tweeted out was this team is just so undisciplined at times, and you do see mental mistakes that just can't be there, especially in these big moments, in these big spots. You can afford to do it against Arkansas. But this is a team that is among the worst penalized in college football. And yeah, some of that is obviously bad refereeing, some of it, but a majority of it is you're not being disciplined. You're not being disciplined, and it goes from the offensive line to the defense with holding and PI. They have to do a better job with discipline when it comes to penalties and mental mistakes. It has to change. And I know some people are going to use that as fuel for fire of why Sark should not call plays anymore. I do kind of agree with Sark, though. I'm interested to hear your guys' opinion on this, but I kind of agree with Sark. They hired him to be a play caller. And I know that it hasn't necessarily worked out great at times this year, but nobody was complaining when Texas was going to the playoff multiple years. The goal line, the red zone stuff was a little bit of an issue last year, obviously, but I kind of agree. Like, you brought Sark here for his offensive mind. Do you really want somebody else calling the plays? At this point, I don't. But you do kind of wonder when things are not tight, when things are not disciplined, especially with the penalties, the mental side of the game. You wonder if a coach that isn't always thinking about the next play might be a little bit more in tune with what's needed to fix some of those errors, right? We'll see. We keep on rolling. I posted on my Facebook text, just don't have the dogs like they used to. Tori, I've heard that a lot. Like, who was talking about it? One of the it was one of the former coaches. It was something on X that I saw. I'm not going to get the names right now, but similar point was made. Like, we love Arch, we love Michael Taft. They're great guys, but he basically made the point, like, where are the dogs, like, leading this team? You would think Anthony Hill, Colin Simmons, you would think that these guys would be the ones really lighting things up. And I really don't like to play the psychological card too much. All these guys are soft. All these guys aren't dogs. Like, it's hard to know. And really, results on the field are what matters more than titles. Are you a dog or are you not? But I do kind of feel that way if I'm just going off the cuff. I do feel that way a little bit as well, Tori. Appreciate the comment. Lone Star, appreciate you, Hookem. Thanks so much. We'll keep on going through. I'm scrolling back a little bit. Utah may lose to K-State. David, that would be nice. Need a win against A&M, but realistically, I doubt it'll happen. Yeah, look, it's not going to be an easy game. It's not going to be an easy game, but I would find it a little hard to believe if A&M comes in and walks all over the Horns. It's just not something that's happened to Texas a lot at home in these big spots. I know Georgia obviously came into Austin last year, took care of business, but you see Texas rise to the occasion quite a bit. Didn't happen last week. It's not going to happen all the time. And look, even against inferior competition, it happens. Look at A&M last week against South Carolina. These things happen. Sometimes you just got to win the ball game and find a way. But at this point, I think the Horns get the job done next week, ruin the perfect season, and then chaos ensues. Had a close one with Syracuse. Go Irish. We'll see what happens with them, but I think the Irish are going to be in as long as they win. Georgia gets in if we beat A&M. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. I thought it was Ole Miss for whatever reason. Look, Simmons and Hill definitely are really, really good. Anthony Hill Jr. is going to be a no doubt first rounder. Simmons will be as well. But I do agree with the general sentiment. It feels like, think back, like, the Derek Johnsons, the Iraq Poes, like those kind of guys. You wish Texas had a couple more of those. Georgia beat Ole Miss head-to-head. That's right. Rodney, appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Yeah, look, the SEC, it gets a little convoluted trying to determine the tiebreakers and everything and all these conferences. Some of them have different ones too. So appreciate the help out, man. Thank you for everybody that's followed on the show. Need to use the running game like the OU game. Yeah, I do think that the running game is something I was a little surprised the Horns didn't go to a little bit more today, but you never know. I think Sark probably is holding back a little bit. I don't think the playbook was wide open. A game like today, I think you are trying to simplify a little bit. You're trying to keep some cards close to the chest and play them hopefully on Friday night against one of your biggest rivals. I was a little surprised they didn't get the running game going a little bit more. We keep on going. Yeah, just scrolling back a little bit here. We appreciate, thank you so much for the comment, Brian. Appreciate you, man. Defense has been off since the fourth quarter at Georgia. Not sure what's going on. Well, missing Anthony Hill Jr. was big. Missing Anthony Hill Jr. was definitely missed today. It was something that you absolutely thought was going to be an issue coming into the game, especially with the running game, and Arkansas had a lot of success on the ground today. So I'm not shocked that they struggled a little bit. Look, you played well enough to get the win. That's huge. But hopefully Anthony Hill Jr. can be back for the game against A&M on Friday night. I think that I would feel a lot better about the defense seeing him in the starting lineup. Good to see you, brother. Good win today. We beat A&M next week. I feel it. Dane's in the wrong live. Dane, you do kind of keep spamming, brother. I'm just saying. Did A&M already played? Oh, yeah, they did. A&M and OU already played. So that's why. He doesn't have anything better to do right now. You keep on commenting, though, brother. I appreciate you. You boosting up the engagement numbers right now. You beat the School of the Blind. Yeah. Are we talking about Samford? Are we talking about Samford, the School of the Blind? Look, I absolutely think that they need to do away with the out-of-conference scheduling the week before rivalry week. This should be all-conference play. I really don't understand why the Samfords and the Georgia Southerns are getting scheduled by SEC teams. I understand why, because you're kind of trying to create a bit of like a mini bye, if you will. I mean, look, you're going to be able to get some backups in against a team like Samford, but I think they need to do away with it. It's just not a great look for the sport. You want to see classic matchups here at the end of the season. You don't want to see anybody get a free win at this point. So I like that it's Texas-Arkansas. Obviously, you can't control Arkansas's win-loss record, but at least you're not playing in out-of-conference nobody like some of the teams in the SEC did this week. Don't need to run when wide receivers are open with no defenders on them. Yeah, look, I think that they took advantage of what Arkansas was giving them, and the passing game was wide open. And obviously, the passing game has not been a strength for the Arkansas defense this year. I mean, look, the running game hasn't been much better, but yeah, I think that Texas was taking what was given to them today, no doubt. No doubt. EJ, we'll see, man. We'll see you on Friday night. Flex scheduling is what they need, Chris. That's interesting. That's interesting. It's just bad for the sport in general. Like, I know some people are just going to, clap back and say I'm salty or whatever, but I really don't think it's good for the sport in general, the casual fan, just the overall experience to have these nothing burger matchups where you have a top team playing an out-of-conference cupcake. I just want to see them do away with it for everybody. I know Texas clearly isn't partaking, but I don't at all think it's good for the sport to have these matchups. Like, you're building up suspense, you're building up the tension all the way to the CFP getting announced. Why would you want to have these types of games in November, right before rivalry week? I'm honestly a little shocked they haven't gone away from it up to this point. Keep going. Texas and Arkansas was a good game for a minute. Second half got a little loose, but yeah, it was a good game for a minute. If Sark had lost today, he'd be in trouble. Yeah. I mean, that would have been worst case scenario. Didn't really have a whole lot of doubts about getting the win today, but that would be the worst case scenario. Yeah, Chris, I'm with you on that. It is basically glorified bye week, 100%. Still can't get over Dolly. JJ, I'm with you, brother. Look, I love Adolis Garcia. I'm going to miss him. It's going to be weird seeing him in a different jersey next year. It's going to take a little while to get used to that one for sure. JJ, appreciate you, man. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the likes. W Longhorns. Brian, yes, sir. Good to see you, man. Yeah, I think the playoffs are definitely in question. I don't think that it is a gimme. I do think a lot depends on other results. I think a lot depends on how the Longhorns do on Friday night. Is it a close game? Did they look really, really good in a win? Clearly, if you lose, you're definitely out of it. But I think that there are some things yet to be determined. I think they've got a shot, but some things have to fall their way. And I think you have got to have a really sound victory against A&M. Yeah, they're showing this Mizzou-Oklahoma game. Ugly game, man. It was 3-0 halfway through the second quarter. Ugly game. We keep on going. Hope we play better on Friday night. Love the Cowboys. Come out and play. Go on defense. Tristan, we'll see. See if the Cowboys can keep it rolling. We'll be live tomorrow, by the way, for the Cowboys game. If you want to come and hang out. You're not a Cowboys fan, come talk some trash. We'll talk about all the NFL results of the day anyways. Oh, good. We get to watch A&M beat up on the School of the Blind. Is that right? Samford. My bad. They showed one touchdown from that. What was the final score of that game? A lot to a little. Arch Manning touchdown. That's still pretty, man. High point in that football. Love it. Yeah, everything was open today, it felt like, when Arch reared back and fired. 6 total touchdowns responsible for. Beautiful. Yeah, Albert, that would be phenomenal. I'm not counting on it, but that would be phenomenal if we could get some top 10 teams losing. That's for sure. Oregon, USC. What do we got? 35-21. Wow, this game was actually pretty good. That's the thing, when you're focused on, Texas, you miss out on some of these other really good games. Yeah, no defense in this one. 42-27. There you go. 42-27. It's fun catching up on some of these. Did Utah lose? Let's look at some scores around the league. Now I'm kind of curious, actually. I kind of want to see. Right now it's 47-44. K-State is up, but Utah is on the 2-yard line fixing the score. We'll see. That would be huge. If you could get Utah losing to K-State here, that would be huge. Yeah, we're gonna check on this one. I actually am gonna move. I'm gonna give my TV feed over to that game. I want to watch that one for sure. 47-44 right now. 2nd and goal at the KSU 4. Here we go. It's big for Texas right here. Let's watch this one together. This is what Texas needs, though. You got to have some teams in the top 12 dropping out. I'm probably a little bit behind. I think I'm probably about 20 or 30 seconds behind. So y'all update me. Crazy, man. 3rd and goal at the 1. 3rd and goal at the 1 for Utah. Down 3. Man, I'm a little surprised if you're if you're K-State, you're going to call a timeout eventually. They only got 1 timeout left. So 3rd and goal, 1-yard line, 54 seconds left. K-State is going to call a timeout after this play is over to stop the clock. They might review that. He might have gotten in. He might have gotten in. Alex Hookham, man. Appreciate. He might have gotten in. They're going to review this one. Appreciate the likes. Alex, absolutely, brother. Hey, appreciate you. Thanks for subbing. Thanks so much. TLC missed you're gonna miss the El Bombi chance. It's gonna be different next year. I mean, we're gonna see how they fill out the roster, but it's gonna be different next year. It's definitely feels like the end of an era. Moving on from some of those guys that were big players, big factors on the 23 squad that won it all. All right, 3rd and goal. Let's lock in. Utah sitting at number 12. K-State 5-5, 4-3 in Big 12 play. Utah loss would be pretty big for Texas. And Utah is going to put this one in 50-47. Going to be 51-47 here shortly. And Utah has not been able to stop K-State very much today. So, look, there's a chance. You've got a lot of time left. Dampier, man, just powered in. Now you need a touchdown. 55 seconds left, though. You got no timeouts. Not impossible, but going to take a nearly flawless drive. Nearly flawless. Dame, appreciate you, brother. Thanks for the follow. You went to UT? Alex, when did you graduate? Hey, T to the J, appreciate the follow. Thank you so much. All right, we got Utah, 51-47, K-State. We're going to finish this one out, and then we'll probably close up shop on the live. We've got a couple other big games tonight. We're going to go through some of those as well. But let's finish this one out together. Longhorns, obviously, with the big win today over Arkansas, a couple touchdowns. It was not as close as the final score actually shows. Texas was up nearly 30 at one point in the fourth quarter. And look, now it's all about A&M next week. It's all about A&M. I am excited. Couldn't be more thrilled for that game. Hoping that we can go live in the fourth quarter. But look, I'm not sure what the travel plans are going to be. We're going to be going to see some fam at some point. So I don't know if I'm going to be back for fourth quarter or not. We'll definitely make sure we go live at some point that evening, though. All right, let's see. What else do we got? Pittsburgh is up 21-0. on Georgia Tech. That doesn't help us out too much. Somebody said Georgia Tech could beat Texas last week. Come on now. Come on now. Oh. Arch Manning's the worst quarterback Texas has had in over a decade. Is this rage bait? I mean, look, you got to replay that one back a little ways, and I just don't think that's accurate. Arch Manning, look, guy's going to be pretty good. I think next year he's going to look even better. Probably going to feel pretty at home in his starting role in 2026. We talked about this last week on the show. People forget, Colt McCoy was not that good in year one. I mean, he wasn't bad, but Colt was not elite in year one. Wasn't really elite in year two either. It took year 3, year 4 for Colt McCoy to become the legend that he's now known as in Texas Longhorns football history. But it takes time. It's a different landscape right now in college football. It takes time. Nobody's got patience for any of these guys, especially with the fact that they're getting paid. But I just think Arch needed this year, and next year you are going to see a man on a mission. I think he is going to be much improved. All right, we got 2nd and 10 right now. Like I said, I think I'm lagging a little bit behind y'all. You guys, some of y'all might be on a little bit of a quicker feed than me. 49 seconds left. 2nd and 10. K-State ball at their own 25-yard line. What else do we got? 0-0 Illinois playing Wisconsin. Tennessee, Florida. Cincinnati. If Cincinnati can beat BYU, that would be huge. Big Cincinnati fans tonight. Interception. And that's going to do it. That is going to do it, man. Wasn't meant to be. That would have been fun. So now it's go Cincinnati. And I think everybody else has played, yeah? Miami won. Vandy won. Trying to see anybody else ahead of Texas at this point. Yeah, all you can really do is root for Cincinnati to beat BYU. Utah going to win. They're going to improve to 9-2. Georgia Tech, but I mean, look, they're in front of Texas at this point. They're down 21-0 right now. So look, I guess Georgia Tech losing is a positive. That'll at least knock them, and Texas should be ahead of them at the end of it. Georgia played Charlotte today and won 35-3. Gee, Charlotte? Oh, no. That's what I mean. Get rid of this. Alabama plays Eastern Illinois today. What are we doing? It's just bad for the sport. I mean, it's not even salty Texas fan, man. It's just bad for the sport. It just makes for a really bad day, really bad slate of games when you should be building suspense, building momentum toward the CFP. It makes no sense to me, but whatever. They've been doing it forever. Glad Texas actually had a semblance of a game today, even though they were up 30 nearly in the fourth quarter. All right, so 21-0 there. BYU Cincinnati kicks off at 5 p.m. That's in about 7 minutes or so here. So that'll be the game we'll be watching tonight. Hopefully, Horns will be able to improve a couple of spots in the standings, and you just hope mayhem ensues next week. That's got to be the plan. Silas, no, don't think the Rangers are trading Seager. I don't think so. No way. I don't see it happening. We'll see. I mean, maybe if they do that, it's got to be full rebuild if you're doing that, right? Full rebuild. Seriously. All right, y'all. Hey, tomorrow we will be live for the Philly and the Dallas game. We will go probably fourth quarter again, just like we did for this game. If you are not a Cowboys fan, come hang out and talk some trash. Come hang out, talk some ball. We'll be going probably for about an hour or so. Fourth quarter, post-game combined, taking all your comments, taking all your questions. And then Wednesday, we do a Texas Rangers off-season show, and we'll go live for the Rangers anytime there's a deadline or anytime there is an acquisition, any kind of player movement. For the most part, look, maybe not for some minor league players, but anybody on the roster right now, trades, free agent signings, releases, anything like that. We'll be going live throughout the offseason. So, hey, if you haven't followed yet, drop a follow. Greatly appreciate it. If you are on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for all the comments and support today. Definitely a solid win, 100%, Gerald. Look, giving up 40, I didn't like the way that the game finished out. I know you were playing some second stringers there at the end. I'm with you on that. Absolutely with you on that. Share Bear was good. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. If they trade Seager, the fan base, which is already kind of low, will drop down. I agree. Trading Seager would be terrible for fan morale. I don't think they're going to do it. But if they do, it's full rebuild mode. Absolutely. Full rebuild mode. 100%. Texas look good. Ray, appreciate you. Manning going to be great next year. Friday going to be tough. I agree with all those things. I think Texas wins on Friday. I think Arch is going to be really, really good next year. We keep going back to Colt McCoy. Colt was not elite in year one, but he turned elite with experience, with time, with years under the system, and look what happened. The rest is history. One of the greatest college football quarterbacks of all time. Sometimes you got to let things play out a little bit. All right, appreciate all you guys. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Go Cincinnati against BYU, and go Cowboys tomorrow against the Eagles. We'll be back, Cowboys-Eagles, late afternoon window. We'll be live fourth quarter, post-game, taking all your comments and questions, breaking it down for you. All right, love y'all. Appreciate the support. As I always say to end every show, God bless. Hook 'em horns.